Well, let's go live now to Brampton, where Peel Police are announcing the results of Project Sterling.
We acknowledge the territory of the Anishinaabe, Huron-Wendat, Haudenosaunee, and Ojibwe-Chippewa peoples. The land that is home to the Métis, and most recently, the territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, who are direct descendants of the Mississaugas of the Credit. We are grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land, and by doing so, give our respects to its First Nations. At the conclusion of today's announcement, there will be an opportunity for questions. I would ask that you limit your questions specific to the content covered in this news conference and limit them to one per person with one follow-up. A media relations officer can make themselves available at the conclusion of this conference for any unrelated questions. A media release will be issued shortly after the conclusion of this conference and will include links to all of the information discussed today. A full video of the conference will also be uploaded onto the Peel Regional Police YouTube channel. Today we will hear from the following speakers: Deputy Chief Nick Milinovich, Detective Constable Tara Farrow of the Central Robbery Unit, Mayor Patrick Brown, and Superintendent Sean Brennan of Investigative Services. I would now like to call upon Deputy Chief Nick Milinovich, Investigative and Emergency Services Command for the Peel Regional Police. Deputy?
Thank you, Nick. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for coming here today. Today we are here to share the results and the successful outcome of one of the investigations that our Commercial Robbery Bureau has recently completed. It is dubbed Project Sterling. This project has led to the disruption and dismantling of a very well-known street gang that originated out of Brampton and was targeting our community. This particular street gang, since 2019, has been responsible for a total of 333 criminal charges, 104 robberies, 7 attempt murders, 47 firearms and weapons charges, in addition to 25 bail charges and 41 stolen auto and stolen property incidents. The robberies they committed were often violent. They were often armed when they committed those robberies and oriented themselves towards carjackings of innocent people from our community. Those crimes also included, as I mentioned previously, a number of shootings. This project and the work of the team that you're going to hear from today has made an impact in our community safety. As a result, we have seen a reduction in the number of carjackings that are being experienced in Peel. Thankfully, we're enjoying an 11% reduction in the number of carjackings that are happening here in Peel, which isn't on trend with a lot of the other communities across the GTA, so I'm very proud of that work. We've also seen a reduction in pharmacy robberies, which was another crime that this group was involved in. Despite the fact that we are seeing reductions, I would also like to reassure the community that this remains a priority for our police service. It is a priority for our community and also our police service. As a police service, we recognize that these incidents create fear. They create feelings of insecurity, and people become concerned about the safety in their community. And I would like to reassure the community that we are committed to doing everything we can as a police service to holding people accountable when they're involved in this type of activity. It will not be accepted here in Peel. As a police service, this year we will charge and arrest more people for carjacking and organized auto theft than we ever have. And that is a reflection of our understanding of how important it is, but also what a large issue it is for our community. You'll see in the backdrop here we have several vehicles. These are autos that have been recovered, stolen from people's homes. They've woken up to find out that somebody has gone shopping in our community from other jurisdictions and taken vehicles. We continue to recover approximately 50% of all stolen autos here in Peel. As I mentioned, we will also continue to hold people responsible who come to our community to steal cars. But one of the important things that I think is that we need to recognize is it's an issue here in Peel, but also an issue across the country. On average, in Peel alone, we lose approximately 1 vehicle per hour. And as a police service, we will continue to invest in the necessary resources to make sure that we are able to continue with investigations like this and prevent people from targeting our community. Once again, very happy to highlight the outstanding work from our Commercial Robbery Bureau and the people responsible for this project. I would also like to acknowledge the support of the Criminal Intelligence Service of Ontario, along with Mayor Brown, and thank you for being here today. I appreciate you being here, but also your advocacy towards raising awareness and building into the conversation of prevention and what people outside of policing can do in order to help address this situation. At this time, I would like to invite Detective Constable Tara Farrow, who was the lead of this investigation, to share some of the details of this project. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy. Good morning. I am Detective Constable Tara Farrow of Peel Regional Police's Central Robbery Bureau and the lead investigator for Project Sterling. Project Sterling was launched in early 2023 following a series of violent carjackings and armed pharmacy robberies in Peel Region. We identified a criminal ring responsible for organizing and planning the robberies as a well-known and established street gang based in Brampton. As you heard from the deputy, this street gang has a well-documented criminal history with Peel Regional Police. As concerning as that is, this gang was actively recruiting young persons to commit the robberies and would compensate them accordingly. Participation in the robberies was also accomplished through intimidation, threats, and other means. Project Sterling's goals were as follows: to disrupt and dismantle the gang responsible for carjackings and robberies and identify gang members and associates involved, to reduce the number of robberies committed by the gang, effect arrest, locate, and seize stolen property and gather evidence for successful prosecution, and to provide referrals for at-risk youth. As a result, Project Sterling has led to the solvency of over 20 violent robbery-related investigations. A total of 103 criminal code charges have been laid, including robbery, robbery with a firearm, unauthorized possession of a firearm, possession of a loaded prohibited weapon, assault, flight for police, and attempt murder. We seized 2 firearms with ammunition, 6 imitation firearms, and multiple edged weapons as displayed here. We recovered 6 stolen vehicles valued at approximately $125,000. Since the start of Project Sterling, pharmacy robberies have declined by 62% over the previous year, and carjackings are down 11%. Through Project Sterling, we also identified gang members who were responsible for an armed carjacking in Brampton and used the vehicle in a drive-by shooting of a student in a parking lot of Weston Collegiate Institute in Toronto. A coordinated and collaborative effort, an investigation, resulted in Toronto police laying 10 criminal charges, including attempted murder. I would like to thank our team for their dedication to this investigation, and I would also like to acknowledge the support provided by our Community Safety and Wellbeing team and the referrals provided to the youth. I will now turn it over to Mayor Patrick Brown. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Tara, and to our Deputy Chief, Nick Milovich. Congratulations to your team, to the Peel Police, on what is a very impressive investigation with Project Sterling. As our Deputy Chief said, the type of terrifying carjackings we've seen in our community is not acceptable. And what this really shows, and frankly sends a message to organized crime, there is consequences and there is accountability. What we've seen on Canadian streets cannot be tolerated, And I'm grateful to have such a dedicated police force in Peel Region that continue to go above and beyond to look at ways to handle the challenges we're facing today. And let it be clear, carjackings and auto thefts have escalated in every major urban city in Canada. And I've seen the terrifying numbers of how auto thefts and carjackings have increased. This certainly isn't a problem unique to Brampton, but it's one that I have heard again and again from our residents about. They can't believe this is happening in our country and in our city. It's why last year, at the Region of Peel, we made the largest investment in the Peel Police that we ever have in terms of new officers, and we doubled the auto theft unit. This year, we're looking at making, once again, the largest investment in policing in Peel Region history, based on the belief that if you give the police the resources to do their job, if you give Chief Nish and Deputy Chief Milanovich the resources to do their job, they're going to hold those who commit heinous criminal activities in our community accountable. And I hope organized crime knows that. I hope they know they can prey on young people in our community, but eventually the police will find those responsible and hold them accountable. So today, on behalf of the City of Brampton, I want to thank the Peel Police for this significant result that I think will send a message to organized crime that there is consequences, there is accountability, and we're going to continue to do whatever we can here in Peel Region to make sure the Peel Police have the resources to continue to really execute these investigations against the organized crime that we know is operating across the GTA. And frankly, it isn't just about auto thefts and carjackings. As horrifying that would be, I've had residents show me videos and call me petrified of what they've seen happen in their neighborhood. But we know where the funds are going from auto thefts. When you see these cars being sent to a port in a matter of hours, we know this has become a revenue tool for organized crime in Canada. I understand that this is now the top 3 revenue sources for organized crime, auto thefts, because Canada has become a source country for stolen cars. And so investigations like this pierce that business model, sends a message that if you think you can count on quick revenue sources for organized crime based on thefts and terrorizing our community, you can't. So on behalf of the residents of Brampton, thank you to the Peel Police, and today is a great day for our community in terms of accountability.
We've been listening to Peel Police alongside Brampton Mayor Patrick Brown updating the media on Project Sterling. This was a disruption and dismantling of a street gang in Brampton. And according to police, since 2019, it resulted in 333 criminal charges, 104 robberies, 7 attempted murders, 47 firearms and weapons charges, 25 bail charges, and 41 stolen vehicles. And many of these carjackings were committed by people who were armed and very violent.